Building pop-ups and modals should not be complicated. Today, I'm going to be teaching you how to make these components in Next.js using simple CSS and HTML with the help of a simple React trick called short circuit evaluation. Let's dive in. The first thing we need to do is to run the npx create next app from our command line. Once the project has been initialized, we're going to run the npm run dev command to run this project in the browser. After running through the browser, we're going to clean up the page.tsx file in our directory. We're going to add the use client command at the top of the file, and we're going to import the use state hook from React. Then we're going to initialize the skeleton of the project. Of course, we'll open up with the h1 and the button element. And then secondly, we're going to design the main container of our page. We're going to initialize a new CSS file called Modal.module.css. We're going to import this CSS file so that it'll be usable in the page.tsx file. Then we're going to use the CSS file to style the page.tsx file. We're basically going to center every element inside of the file. Then we're going to define the useStateHook. So to deconstruct the useStateHook a little bit, so the isOpen variable will contain the truth value for the hook. The setIsOpen is a function that we will call, and then the useState and then false will just set the default value of the state to false. So connecting that to an onClick function, so as you can see, onClick, then setIsOpen, that will set the new state for our page.tsx file. So if we call setIsOpen to true, once we click the button, we're supposed to see that the isOpen variable will become true. So once we use this isOpen value, the short circuit operator, which is the and symbol, will then render the page.tsx or the modal inside of our page.tsx file. So as you can see, once we click the buttons, the modal now toggles. Now simply, we're now going to add more styles to our file. We're going to add an overlay to which will help segregate or divide our page. So we wouldn't want to click items behind the modal if the modal is open, right? So that's what the overlay is for. So we're going to set that to 100% width and 100% height with a background color of gray. And then we're going to center the elements inside of that overlay. And then another important thing is the z-index. The z-index will ensure that the overlay will be on top of the elements. So once we click these elements, or once we click the buttons, the overlay will now pop up as well as the starting of the modal. Now we're going to define the design for our modal. So background is equal to white, padding 40px, border radius 12 pixels, max width 500, with 90%, and color, which is gray. So we're also going to define a box shadow so that it will look like it's embossed or it's laying on top of the overlay. So as you can see, the button now exists, or the modal now exists. Now we're going to make the UI more intuitive by adding designs for our close and open buttons. So of course, we should put some color, and then another important thing is to define that the cursor must be equal to pointer when the cursor hovers on the button. So as you can see, but it seems kind of empty, so we're going to add another image or an image to our page.tsx file. So I have a sample image in my public folder, so let's use that. So that'll be Shrek. Shrek looks nice, but we need to add some spacing between the elements in Shrek So let's just add a margin. So as you can see, the modal now works. So from this, it's very simple, right? We only need to use the useState hook. We only need to use the onClick commands when hit by the button, and we have a functioning modal. So I hope that my tutorial helped just a little bit in your React journey, and the files for this project will be linked in the description below. So if you guys have any more queries and questions or topics that you want me to explain with React, then I'll be happy to oblige. So remember to subscribe, like, and share this video, and comment down below what topics you want me to explain. So see you guys in the next commit.